Might be my arrogance, but ain't nobody stopping me. That's how I go when you pay for them shows.
All right, it's February the 12th, a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, and we're back for the thing that you guys seem to like more than anything else, a live chat. And, you know, it's been a couple of weeks. I've been sick, coming back to the States, all that type of stuff. Last one was Billy the Fridge. Who are you going to get that could top that? How can you continue to top yourself? Well, we got one that's very interesting today, and maybe one that you might be sleeping on. We got the one, the only, Wavy Web Surf, the dude, bro, from middle of the goddamn country. What's going on, buddy? Welcome on.
What's up, Dave? I'm happy to be on, man.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for me because technically we've done this before. Technically.
Yeah. Via Tommy, right?
Via Tommy, that's right. Yeah, it was. I had you on. We both had you on when Tommy and I did you. What? How long ago was that? About a year ago, right?
Yeah, it would have been sometime in late 2017, I think.
It has to be. Wow, Jesus! I can't believe.
And you know what? I actually kind of glossed over the fact that you were in that call. Like you just now made me remember that, Dave.
You don't even remember that I was there.
What am I even doing here? I've already done this interview.
Oh my God, I can't fucking believe that's. You know what? I'm very unforgettable. What can I say? I just I have yes, because a 300-pound fucking fat cripple is very inconspicuous. I don't exactly stand out in a crowd, especially with my gigantic fucking lumberjack beard. Jesus.
Oh man,
I don't blame you. I don't remember too much of that interview either. I got to be honest, I wasn't exactly thrilled with that one. I mean, it was perfectly fine. Don't get me wrong, but you know when you're doing stuff with Tommy, it's always a little bit interesting. I'm hearing some feedback. Are you muting your microphone when I'm talking?
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's not on push to talk. I think I might have had like background audio playing for a second.
Okay, because I'm hearing white noise every time I start talking. You shouldn't be on push to talk anymore. I know that you are when you're in waiting to call, but when I pull you up, you shouldn't be on push to talk anymore. So hopefully you should be able to fix that so we don't hear that every time that I'm asking you a question.
Oh, okay. I'll work on it. I'm still listening to you though.
All right, you're good. So it's rare that you get to. I forgot completely where I was going, but it's always interesting when you work with Tommy to try and get the best that you can in any given situation. But an interview with two people to one is always something that I've never been a huge fan of. But it was cool to have you on, and I want to say, you were around 10K at that time, right?
I think I was almost at 10K, maybe 9,000. And it was one of those interviews where, you know, Tommy sort of sees somebody that's growing slowly and he tries to give him a shot on the show.
Yeah.
He liked
you
you
too.
Classic
he liked you a lot too. There was no question about that. You were somebody that he really did like. So it's not a shock why he had you on anyway, because Tommy's fairly good at seeing who's good at what they do, you know, at the very least.
I think he does have a good eye on people who eventually will break through the threshold for sure.
At the time, it didn't look like anybody was going to be breaking through any thresholds anytime soon. I mean, there was a very doom and gloom time for the commentary community when we had you on. Yeah,
you're right in the sense that I guess that was late 2017 or something like that. I wish we had the exact date.
Yeah.
But that was people that was when me, The Right Opinion, James Marriott, we were all like below 10,000 subscribers.
That's right.
Everybody was kind of like rebuilding after the ashes from that old commentary scene were established. Yeah, now it's crazy how much everybody has grown since then. Has that white noise at all, by the way?
No, it's off now. You're good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how many people are growing, because we really did think that type of growth, even for people who were just a little bit established, like all of you were all around 10, 15,000 subs. So you had a little bit of a foothold. It's like, yeah, it's not like you didn't have anything going on, but still to go from there to where you are in a time where it's been incredibly hard to get in recommended. It's been more difficult to figure out the algorithm. You figured it out. So first and foremost, congratulations. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're approaching 200,000 subs that you should be hitting fairly soon, right?
Yeah, it should be, I guess, within the next week or so, but it is really crazy. I mean, the numbers, just you start forgetting how much 10,000 felt, and then it's like 200,000. It's just like mind blown still.
Right.
I had to change my approach And I'm sure that's probably something a lot of people have observed, you know, starting off as pure commentary, and now I do more history videos. So it took a little experimentation.
Yeah, you are going more places. It seems like you're not being confined by waiting for commentary drama to unfold.
I think my last trending topics commentary video was back during the FouseyTube thing.
Why did you make the change? Was it simply because of algorithm reasons and the fact that, you know, commentary was starting to be stifled down a little bit more? Did you just see greener pastures and other things, or did you just go with what you were interested in?
Well, it was partly an interest thing. If you go back to the really old videos on my channel, I have a couple of videos that do like a deep dive in. I have a video called the history of YouTube, and
Yeah.
I did a video about meme history and shit. Like my really early videos before the commentary videos were internet history stuff. So it's something I've always been interested in. Yeah, the trending topics, man, it just stressed me out. Like always trying to be on top of things.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like my commentary, and just personally, I don't really feel like I'm the best trending topics commentator, honestly. I didn't feel like it was a strong suit, and I tried, you know, making these more scripted documentary style videos, and I feel like that's something I am decent at. So
Right.
I don't know, it just worked out, and people started watching them, so it's like, fuck it, you know. If they're watching it, might as well keep on going. So
It's cool to
what happened,
see.
man.
I always like having people that have different roads and different perspectives, because you see so many times that people will just, when something doesn't work, they'll just keep banging their head against the wall until they can't stand the headache anymore, and then they quit. They give up. But now we're starting to see with guys like you, with guys who were stuck for a little while, especially in a category that didn't look like it was going to be growing, and you found new ways to evolve and adapt and make it your own and bring in different topics that would kind of spice it up a little bit, and it caught on, which is it's incredible. So congratulations on that, man, because that's a level of dedication that I think we are really lacking on YouTube right now.
Thanks, man. But yeah, I hate to see channels that bang their head against the wall for months, and you know they're not getting the views, and they're not really adapting to the times. So that stuff is frustrating, especially when it's somebody that I really like. Willie Mac.
If that motherfucker would just upload a little bit, like, my God, you can't just decide to be clown and not fucking upload, Willie Mac. You got to do something first, and then you can do that.
Shout out to Willie Mac. Please make some more videos.
Willie Mac, my dude, my Chicago brethren. He's going to be one of the first people that I probably do an in-house interview with, because I got family in Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Y'all live pretty close, huh?
Fairly, not too far away. Close enough to when I'm in Chicago visiting family, I can go visit him. And I'd love to do a sit down with him. That's the next evolution of all of this. You know,
that's awesome.
Trying to figure out the next thing that I could do, how to make it more personal, how to like get people to be even more relaxed. Well, how could it be more relaxing than being in their own fucking house, right? So I think that might be
you gotta show. Have you seen like the new Anything for Views, like his podcast?
Oh my God, yes. Jesus Christ.
So
Cold
good.
Ones is everything.
Dude, they nailed that, the whole aesthetic, and it's just so chill.
Yeah.
I actually think the in-person podcasts and stuff are going to be the new wave.
It looks like it. It looks like it's going to be that thing that really starts taking off and bring podcasting back to YouTube. Because after Baited and all that, it felt like podcasting was going to die out. There was really nothing, or at least in our spectrum, in our world, in our realm. Podcasting is still very big all over the internet. Let's not get it twisted.
But, it's weird because, like Catch 33 and Baited were so good.
Right.
I mean, in the commentary community, you had the one with Elvis. What was that one?
The hot wet soup.
No,
yeah.
It was pretty much that's like that was like pretty much the trifecta though. Like Baited, hot wet soup, you know, Catch 33. I think those were the better ones.
I think so.
But within commentary, there's just so many small commentators that had their podcast going at that time.
Everybody did it, man. Everybody did it. Everybody started a podcast because it seemed like that was going to be the next big revenue stream. That was going to be the thing that was going to take, and it still might be. But it looks like it's going to have to be done through a more meticulous planning. Even if it means ripping off hot ones, you're going to have to figure something out. And But let's not take anything away from the fact that both Anything for Views, Chad and Max Mofa are incredibly funny motherfuckers. I mean,
I actually think Max's like sense of humor is like outrageously underrated.
Oh God,
he's a funny motherfucker.
Well, just think about that group. And we're going to get into the whole interview in just a moment. Don't worry about that, guys. But think about that group for a second. Think about the people that he's run with historically. Anything for Views, iDubbbz, fucking Joji,
Frank, right?
Yeah, Filthy Frank, Joji. There's just some incredibly talented people that have come from that group. It's insane.
They were. I don't know, man. It's kind of like they're like the jackass of YouTube. I feel like I've heard Tommy or someone say that before, but I don't know. There's something. It feels like the soul of YouTube has kind of partly been taken out after they've all disbanded from working together. It was such a good trope of people. Yeah,
it's a damn good group, and they're still doing stuff too. That's the cool thing, and they'll still collab with each other, except for Joji. Joji's doing his music thing, and he's taking over the world one fucking club at a time. Good Lord.
I think it's fair to say that he's probably never going to come back to YouTube.
No,
at least as Filthy Frank. I mean, that's completely retired.
Yes, I mean, I can see him coming back and doing some stuff, but he is absolutely killing it right now. So I'm happy for him. It's interesting to see guys like that transitioning over to music and having the success. Like, it's still is it still weird to see Post Malone like on the stage at the Grammys with the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers? Hey, that's crazy. He's kind of one of ours, it's fucking nuts to see these guys.
I mean, yeah, with Post, he had the White Iverson thing blow up on SoundCloud first, and then he went to he started hanging out with H3. So I guess it sort of seems like he came from YouTube, but he really was just on some SoundCloud.
It's just kind of a lateral move over to somebody else. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to answer somebody's question in the chat, Lord Vega, because you never ignore when Lord Vega asks you a question. Are you guys taking calls? Yes. At the end, we will be taking calls. We're going to take your calls, your questions, your comments, your concerns, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, and so much more. Anything you want to ask Mr. Wavy Websurf or myself, feel free to do that at the end of the show. All right. That was a nice little warm-up. You ready to get into the meat and potatoes of this bitch?
To eat the whole damn stew.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. I love it because I'm a fat guy and I like making food analogies. You're kind of the guinea pig, and Vega was going to be the guinea pig for this, but it's kind of fallen to you now, my friend. Sprinkled throughout today's show, I'm going to be adding a couple of questions that I feel are representative of some of the common interview questions that you'll see and the common type of interviewers that you'll see. And I'll let you know when they're coming, because I think this might be a little bit of fun to just kind of make fun of ourselves a little bit for once in the interview world. My God,
sure.
We're so serious in our interviews. We like to get everybody's stories. Now, fuck all that stuff. Let's just have a good time. But
it's some nice edgy, self-deprecating humor, dude.
That's right. We'll borrow some Leon Lush playbook pages and just go self-deprecating to hell with it. But first, before we get into any of that, first question that I have for you, and it might be the hardest one that I ask you the entire fucking show. Define yourself.
God.
If somebody's asking what you do at this current stage in your life, what do you tell them? What do you do? How do you, if you're trying to sell somebody to come watch what you're doing on YouTube, what do you tell them?
So I actually get this question a lot.
Oh, fuck. Okay, shit.
I get this question because the thing is, I still have a real day job, and people find out about my YouTube channel all the time. So they ask me, what do you do on there? So if I'm going to explain to just a random stranger, what do I do on the Wavy Websurf YouTube channel? Make videos about internet celebrities, most of the time who are their peak was 5-10 years ago, who I have this nostalgic urge to sort of find closure on their story.
Yep.
Deep dive of research on it, tie everything together in a nice package, and then put it out there. And then I also make videos about ridiculous stories like the Miami bath salt guy that ate someone's face off.
Yes, homemade zombies, always wonderful.
Pretty much, it's like behind the music for YouTube, but it's like memes,
Behind the meme. That's wonderful. I like that. I like that. So that's how you would describe to somebody what you do. But when you look at yourself, you know, at this stage of your life and everything that you've done before, you know, we can talk about if you've had other jobs and stuff like that and what your plans might be for the future, and that's all wonderful. But where you are at the moment, how do you see yourself? What do you think you do? And how do you think viewers, more importantly, your viewers, view you as?
Well, I mean, right now, man, I'm just trying to, I got a full-time job. I kind of see YouTube as a, like many people do, I see YouTube as a potential out for that 9-to-5 type deal.
Sure.
So definitely, you know, that's definitely a goal of mine, is to potentially become like fully self-employed. Not necessarily only relying on YouTube, but I've been looking into a lot of stuff, like how to invest in like rental properties and shit. Like people need to widen their berth as far as knowledge regarding, you know, how you can self-employ yourself.
Diversify your portfolios, motherfuckers. You know?
I don't know, man. I probably sound like a boomer right now, but I'm just planning for the future.
Well, how old are you?
20 shit. I'm about to be 26.
Oh, good God, yes. The dreaded just over a quarter century, so I'm having a quarter century life crisis age. Those are always fun. Yeah.
I'm actually doing pretty well right now, though. Like I've had like a few episodical mid 20 boomer crises, but I feel like overall I'm doing pretty well, man.
Right. When you were, you know, a year ago when Tommy and I had you on, a year and some change, how were you viewing YouTube as the same thing? Or now that you've had as much success as you've had up to this point, do you view it a little bit different? Do you see things a little bit more attainable? Yeah. And did you ever see this as a possibility of even coming to fruition?
Dude, YouTube, I would say YouTube like 6 to 8 months ago for me was probably more stress than what it was worth.
Oh,
yeah. Like before my channel started taking off, I was one of those people that basically threw my face in the numbers and was being disappointed about the slow growth. It started catching up to me. Trying to make like 3 videos a week, you know, the trending topic stuff, and it was a grind. So once, you know, I started doing well, it's funny, you start feeling a lot better about the platform as a whole.
Isn't it interesting, right? Like, oh, wow, what is this, sunshine? Oh, it's much warmer here.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'm optimistic about it right now. But there definitely was some stressful shit like that happened in my life around, like when I was trying to grow my channel in 2018, like early 2018.
Yeah.
But I just had to persevere, man. I think that's what everybody will tell you, is just keep trying.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No question. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with, is especially when you see you're a little bit older, so you're kind of on the lucky side. But I feel bad for these.
I think it's an advantage, dude.
It is.
A lot of these younger guys, like, I mean, they don't see 5 years down the road.
How can you? Did you at 17?
Yeah.
You know, who did at 17, 18 years old? Not too many of us. You know, and then when you start throwing obscene amount of money, influence, that's the most intoxicating thing about YouTube and social media, is when you start realizing that people are listening to you. Boy, does that fucking feel good. You know, that feels really, really good.
Yeah, man. It's like very, I don't know. It makes you want to keep doing it. So,
yeah. And not everybody knows how to deal with it. And they certainly don't know how to deal with the falls. So when you had all of your struggles, and especially in your personal life, were you tempted just to walk away from it, especially when it really wasn't worth the squeeze? I mean, you were putting all this time into it, not getting that far. You're having all these personal issues in your real life. How close were you? Were you thinking about hanging it up?
I mean, yeah, there were days, but I just had to take care of my shit, man. I had to get my mental game right. Like, dude, I'll fucking keep it 100 with you. I went to see a therapist for a little while just because my life in general was wilding out.
Oh, so you used BetterHelp or no?
Oh yeah. BetterHelp all day. No, I went to an actual licensed fucking therapist.
Smart. That was a good idea. Good idea.
You know, I had to learn how to balance the YouTube stuff with my actual job, which was super crucial. that was the main point that was stressing me out. It was the time and not being rewarded for the time kind of thing. So I figured it out, dude.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm great.
It seemed like it. Did you have one of those therapists that fix stud athletes who have mental fucking problems? You know, like in the Scout, terrible Brendan Fraser movie. If anybody knows that flick, you're a pimp in my fucking in my mind. But geez, is that you got yourself a fixer? Are you gonna go back to it if you have any more issues?
I just went. No, I'm good now, man. But we actually did talk quite a bit about YouTube when I would go there. Younger guy, so he was sort of privy to the shit. He knew about the BetterHelp controversy, by the way.
So you kind of lucked out. You lucked out that you got a therapist who was a little bit younger and could, relate to you.
He gave me some pretty good advice, for sure.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I like to hear that. That's a good thing. Therapy is not a bad thing. People need to stop being afraid of it. There's nothing wrong with it. It helps you figure shit out. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen for a few minutes. That's all. Somebody you don't know. Something that you're paying.
You gotta vent the shit out, or it'll just eat you alive.
Oh yeah, especially when you're adding this type of stuff into it. The YouTube situation and all the people that you meet and friendships and all that. And we'll get into that more in a moment. Now, remember, a few minutes ago, I told you how we were going to sprinkle in some of the Hallmark interview type questions, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do our first.
I'm ready.
We're going to do the obvious question. So many times, we all have those questions that are staples of any interview and such. But I have found that most of the time, it's the fact that people ask these obvious questions in a very boring or one-dimensional way, such as this. And this is going back to your 200K arrival that is imminent, probably within the next couple of weeks if you really get a good video in there. Who knows? You're approaching 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. How does that feel, and what does that mean?
Approaching 200,000 subscribers to me just feels like like hitting 100,000, but just not as intense.
Right.
I think it's more so a confirmation that what I did to get to 100K is definitely a working gambit. I mean, the milestones, like the 100K milestones are cool and all, but at the end of the day, you can't ever replace the feeling of hitting 100K. I think any YouTuber will agree with me unless they've gotten to 1 million. But, and you said also what was the second part of the question?
It was, and what does it mean? What does it mean other than the fact that you have 200,000 subscribers?
I mean, it's honestly just a big clout symbol, I guess. I don't know. It's a number that represents your EP.
You see how that's a bad question? It's an obvious question, and you get the answer, but there's nothing else to go off of. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I just gave you the obvious question and just left it at that. So here's how people in the future, when they're doing interviews, can ask the obvious question, but putting something on it that allows more conversation to come from it. And we kind of already did it, but I'll go ahead and ask it anyway. As we've already talked about, we had you on before, me and Tommy, and it's a unique opportunity for perspective. So I've gotten to see your entire journey from, the 10,000 that you were at when we had you on to where you are now, pushing 200,000. So to start with, what is different specifically about what you do now from what you did then?
Oh, I mean, if you're talking in a strict content perspective, it's obviously, the actual style has shifted a lot to more fleshed out stuff.
Right.
To documentaries from more just off the dome reactions to certain drama. But I feel like my perspective as a content creator has shifted too. From then, at that time, I was thinking more the trending topic videos. I'm I want to hop on something that I feel like will do well in the algorithm. I feel like we'll get clicks. But now I'm doing what everybody had told me I should be doing all along. just make entertaining content that you would want to watch. And that's what works. So I think I've switched my perspective to more so trying to play the algorithm to just create content I would like to see.
So you've become less analytical as time has gone on.
I try to pick topics that I think will do well, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's like, you know, there's anything in the news that would be making that popular. I mean, I made a video about Cecil the Lion a couple days ago. That story's been dead for years now, but there's always going to, yeah, exactly. But you know, I think there's going to be a group of people who saw that news story just like probably, and you want to know closure about it.
Sure.
So you're kind of clickbaiting, but not really. I think it's just tapping into it's just a niche that hasn't really been tapped into.
Yeah, see, that's interesting to me. See, that's the type of perspective that I was hoping to hear, because you hear so many times that people have come on this very show. You know, we've had Wild Spartans, who the entire like 2 hours that I had him on, it was just, it was all analytics. It was all interworkings of YouTube that I didn't understand. You know, so do you, now that you've had the success and you've become less analytical, or at least in how you're uploading, trying to stick to what the algorithm might want you to do you feel that some of the reliance on analytics here on YouTube is overblown bullshit? Because for a long time, I've stated, I feel the analytic, there is no algorithm. It's just fucking chaos. They're telling you there's an algorithm, but it's garbage. Do you think that might be true, or do you just get lucky?
Well, I think with the algorithm, man, there is a lot of stuff you can do to optimize your video performance. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's really just like having a really nice thumbnail and a good title. People get into tags, people get into like the click-through ratios and stuff, which all that stuff is really important. But I think if you sit here and let's say you don't even really have that great of content in the first place. I mean, no matter how well you play the algorithm, if no one's watching your video all the way through, it won't get recommended at all.
Right.
So I think small creators more so worry about that kind of stuff than the bigger guys. Yeah. I mean, the big guys worry about it too, because they want PewDiePie numbers.
Sure.
But guys should, you know, really focus on the content first. You know, if you're doing a commentary video and the editing is bad and I can't listen to you talk because your audio quality is so terrible, like there's no title or thumbnail that'll get you, you know, popping. You need to have the content first. So that's, you know, kind of some advice I'd give to anybody who's a small person. Don't get too tied up in the algorithm, man.
Yeah, try to get the things that you can control first. I give the same advice to a lot of people. You control what you can, and don't worry about the things that you can't. Maybe you can work the algorithm to help you in the future, but it ain't going to help you at the moment if your shit's unwatchable or unlistenable.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree. And most people just think that you can just start throwing this stuff up and then magic's going to happen. I think that allure has kind of been shattered. You know, the farther we get away from like 2015, 2016, 2017, the more I think that people don't see it as easy. But it still seems like there are many people who get just shocked that they're not growing. Is that the biggest issue? Is that people are worrying about the wrong things when they're smaller? Is that some of the mistakes that you see most prevalent in the YouTube community?
I don't think it's necessarily like that they're over focusing on the algorithm is why they're not growing. I think oversaturation is a big problem. There's a lot of, especially in commentaries, a lot of people talking about the same things. Yeah. Usually the only people in commentary that will blow up will be somebody that blows the lid on some story that hasn't been talked about. Like, right. You see like what happened to that fainted guy or Lieutenant Cobra recently. Right. The Keemstar even though Bo Blacks blew the story on the fainted thing or on the Pokemon. But yeah, the faint, like the recent Lieutenant Cobra shit, like that guy's gonna hit 100K.
He absolutely will. He just blew past 10.
You see that, you've seen that more recently. Like there's just like all these commentators. They have a couple thousand subs, and then there'll be one of them who overnight will blow the lid on something and catch 100K. It almost makes me think 100K isn't that much anymore. Right. No,
it kind of isn't in some ways, but it definitely is. There's no question. It really, really is.
Yeah. It seems like 100K is the new like 20K or something. I don't know.
See, and this is where I find you have an interesting perspective once again, where a lot of other people don't. Because after the adpocalypse and everything where everyone was freaking out, especially in the commentary community, you saw what a lot of people would do, would take their production and go bigger. You know, you got the Lord Vegas of the world, you got the clowns of the world, you got the nerd cities of the world that do their videos and their styles in a very overly produced, production, graphic-oriented fashion. While you, on the other hand, don't even use an intro for your videos. You keep everything as minimal as humanly possible. Your editing is crisp and clean. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything like that at all. But you know when you're watching like a Nerd City video to where you're watching somebody who sits in front of a camera and speaks in front of your wonderful, and I still don't believe that's not a goddamn tapestry behind you. I'll never fucking believe it. You can't paint in texture like that. It can't look like it's a carpet. So you're kind of a minimalist, it feels like, even with your goddamn hippie carpet behind you.
Yeah, well, like there's certainly room for, your Colossals, your Nerd Cities, like people who use the elaborate editing. I love that shit. But I also really like channels that keep it simple. I watch a lot of these like horror channels where it's just a guy talking over some still images.
Right.
I think, I really think, with editing and stuff, with the type of content that I do, I think showing the face is important because it helps me give character to like the tone of the story. Yeah. And I don't use a lot of wild, zany transitions because I just don't really feel like it's necessary. I don't think it would necessarily take away from my videos, but I mean, it could be boiled down to me being lazy in Premiere, but yeah, I feel like what I do kind of satisfies the requirement, and that's what it is. So, I don't get too burned up about my editing and stuff.
Did you think about going that route though? I mean, like when things were at their absolute worst and, you weren't growing and all that, were you thinking about, man, what's something drastic that I can do? Should I go full Nerd City here? Should I really just hype this thing up in a different way? Or you were just a stay the course kind of guy because this is just kind of your nature?
Actually, kind of. I did think at one point when I was doing my switch from commentary, I thought about going full video essay mode.
Really?
I thought about just writing scripts and being off the camera because I actually do really like recording voice work.
Oh, yeah?
I like editing audio as well. So that was something I was generally interested in, but I don't know, man. People just love the tapestry and people just love my Macaulay Culkin looking ass.
This is true.
So I had to stay on camera, man.
It's funny. I think part of your success is that relatability. Your wall painted tapestry, and you just look like a chill ass dude that clearly loves the internet. You love the things that you're talking about. You can tell that you're invested in them.
I really do.
You could tell. So that perception, because the question I was going to ask was, how does that perception stack up to reality? But that's who you are. I mean, it seems like that is the perception is the reality there. Is that fair?
As far as how like into the internet kind of culture and stuff,
that's why people can relate to you because you just are. Yeah. This is who you are. There's no shtick being put on.
I mean, I'm kind of part of that. I don't know. I'm just kind of part of that generation that grew up when YouTube was in middle school. So
right.
I grew up with it, man. I'm not so much into the kind of stuff that Wang talks about. Like he's more into that. You're the man now, dog, and fucking funny junk. Like he's primordial days. See, I don't know as much about that. I know more about YouTube oriented stuff, and I just grew up with it, man. It's kind of part of my childhood. Like you might fucking talk about WWE or like Transformers cartoons. I talk about I talk about annoying
I
Orange
love when
and Fred.
people does that. I love when people do that shit. It's like, well, you got me on both of them. I'm not gonna lie. I am a WWE fan, always have been, and I did love the Transformers when I was a kid. But goddamn, you could have gave me some cartoons or something that came from the '90s, make me feel a little bit less old and decrepit.
They had a pretty nice Transformers reboot in the '90s, I think. So
we'll count that. That'll fucking count it. All right, that's good.
I don't even, Dave. I don't think I know how old you are. Actually,
I am 36. I'll be 36 in May. May 21st. I'll be 36.
Okay, word.
So
sweet.
Still,
hey, you You know, Wang is like 35.
Yeah, I knew he was right around my age. You know, he
Isn't
actually
that crazy?
trolled me for real. I thought for a while he was telling people that he was Data from the internet.
Star Trek?
Yeah, he was. No, not that Data. Different Data. He was the Japanese kid from fucking Goonies and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I thought he was fucking telling the truth at first. I was like trying to look it up and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna find out if this is true because that's amazing. I was like, look at YouTube, bringing in the former child celebrities like that. How
Yeah, we've got Jablinski Games.
Games.
Now we've got fucking Goonies characters growing up now.
It's funny. It's cool to see. You know, nobody wants to keep YouTube 100% one way all the time. It's not necessarily a bad thing that we do have celebrities and such coming over. But I think with Jablinski Games, we're seeing a clear juxtaposition over the right way and the wrong way. And the wrong way is clearly how they were doing things with Will Smith and all these announcements about like Kevin Hart having a show on YouTube and all these talk shows that were celebrities that were taking the stuff that already existed and just bringing it over to YouTube. Jablinski Games is totally different than that. This is Jack Black really just wanting to do fucking gaming on YouTube. It doesn't feel like anything more than that. Do you think?
Even though he hasn't made one gaming video yet. No, yeah, I think Jablinski is definitely like the blueprint that if any celebrity from Hollywood wants to make a YouTube channel, you should try to frame it something like that. Even though it's so, like, because Jack Black's his career is always kind of been a little fringe,
right?
So it makes way more sense to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it does. Him, like Kevin Smith's another one. He came over to YouTube a long time ago. You know, he brought some of his Fat Man on Batman. He brought over to YouTube like 3 years ago and shit. So, yeah, I think there are certain people that'll be able to transition over. You know, you might be right. I like the way you said that too, the fringe thing, because that for some reason that word changed a little bit of the narrative in my head, because for some reason I've kind of lumped everybody in together. But you can't, because Jack Black is certainly not the same type of celebrity as Will Smith, and scope means shit. When you're at a higher level of something, you know the rules are going to change depending on where you are, especially if he's not like Jack Black. They're different people. They're different celebrities, so they're going to have different standards. So that makes a lot of sense. It's actually a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, it'd be like, who do you think would have a better YouTube channel? Weird Al Yankovic or the fucking Rock?
Right.
Clearly Weird Al.
Clearly Weird Al. Yeah. So yeah, that's very fair. But with all of this change and like the way that YouTube is going, the way YouTube sits right at this moment, how confident are you in the future, not only for this as far as maybe your prospects of turning this into a full-time job, but just as a platform overall and what the next iteration of it's going to be?
I'm not hella optimistic, especially after what's happened with Mumkey.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking frightening to me how they can just, banhammer you off. Own one guy, could just be at YouTube. He sees your videos, doesn't like your channel, you're gone. Poof.
It's pretty crazy.
Mumkey, he systematically proved the strikes were bullshit, and even with all the evidence being clear, no action was ever taken.
I've asked myself why. And part of it could have simply have been that they could bury it because whoever was pushing the button to get him taken off the platform had that much power. That's possible. But it's also possible of the way that he fought. I look back at some of that, man. There's not another job on the fucking face of this world that you could have a suspension of any kind, even if it's indefinite, and you can go to your employer and call them every name in the book and have no repercussions.
Yeah, like on Twitter where he was calling them a fucking retard.
He went insane. He went fucking insane. And I think if you piss these people off, they're going to fucking blackmark you because you've been a pain in their ass.
I think Mumkey probably could have handled it better, but I don't think, no matter how courteous he was, the decision was made.
You might be right.
At the end of the day, I feel like Mumkey and all the members of the community have lost their breath, spent all this time trying to explain how Mumkey's video was satirical. He didn't really mean this and that. Yeah. YouTube really just don't give a fuck. They
know.
see it.
Yeah.
They see it in a very surface level way that they're like, this is controversial. We could lose advertisers of it. Because you think BuzzFeed or the Wall Street Journal, when they make a hit piece about Monkey Jones on YouTube, are they going to give him that benefit of the doubt that the community does?
No.
That's why I feel like that's why they did it. They just know it's a liability to these people who will write a hit piece about them just for hosting something.
It's crazy too. I look back on some of the things that Monkey has talked about, where a couple of things stuck out at me, just the timeline. Like a couple of weeks before all of that happened, you had the situation where he found out that an incel convention used one of his videos to kind of, like, they were explaining what incels were, and they were using this Elliot Rodger footage to kind of explain.
It was the FBI.
That's insane, right? I mean, this is crazy. But now my thought process is, if anything like that actually happened, and I believe that it did, how would YouTube not fucking find out about it? And if they did, that would be enough to black mark anything, wouldn't it? Like, okay, we need to start doing something. This is some serious shit. Let's flip the switch on this motherfucker and see what happens. And then he did him a favor by look, I understand why he screamed at him, why he went insane. Shit, you're losing your fucking livelihood. I totally understand it. But my mind went back to something else, because this is still Google at the end of the day. And I learned a valuable lesson back in 2010. I was a blogger, right? And this is a quick story, and I try not to make shit about myself, but this is an interesting thing that ties into it.
I've never heard this before. I'm down.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told this story on air except for a couple of times. So I was just a blogger back then. I had just gotten hurt. I was just looking for, any outlet to write or whatever. And I got AdSense, Google AdSense, same thing we use here on YouTube, to monetize my blogs, because I started getting good numbers. Like, I was getting like 10,000 hits a day on my blog. I was doing okay. So I decided to do this, and at the time I was living with my mother. I was completely morphined up. I just got medically retired from the Army. I was just in a really bad spot. So I put like a couple ads on my page, and that was it. My mom was on the same computer and thought she was helping me, and she started clicking ads, and which you can't do.
So that's like, it's like against the terms or something. Yeah.
So she generated 10 cents in ad revenue, and they took my account from me and said that I was like view botting, essentially, trying to generate. So they took my AdSense from me. 6 years. 6 years I appealed. I appealed this for 6 fucking years. In every way that you can. I explained it ad nauseum. I went crazy in all the explanations and everything that I possibly could. Got rejected for 6 straight years.
Got it back?
Yeah, I saw a video in 2016. I can't remember his name now. I still have a video on it on this channel. You can find it. It's got some really good information about getting your AdSense back if you want to try to go that route. And it might be for people who are fighting with YouTube and Google in general, because I have found this method has way more success. And this is what the video told me to do. This is what the video tells everybody to do. You have to take full responsibility. You cannot make an excuse. Not one excuse. You can't, not an explanation, not an excuse. Nothing can be in it. You have to take full responsibility, basically eat shit, and ask them for forgiveness and ask them to be on. I followed that. I got it back within 6 hours of me sending the email. 6 hours.
I feel like it's of YouTube, though. Just any approach you took in that situation, it would have been the same result.
Probably. More than likely. But I think at the end, maybe this is just my Midwestern bullshit values or whatever, but the way I look at it, in that situation, if I don't go crazy, if I don't go ballistic, I don't give them any extra reasons to hold a grudge. Does that make, you know what I mean? It's like,
I wouldn't have added the fuel to the fire for sure. I mean, that's just kind of how Monkey is, though. Yeah. How else would he have responded?
Right. No, I know. It's just unfortunate.
Monkey has said, on the State of the YouTube that he regrets like a lot of the actions during that takedown process. He wishes he could have gone back and just deleted the videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hindsight's 2020. But.
He was also going through a lot of other stuff at that same time. The Asperger thing was happening right at that same fucking time.
Yeah, he had to call the police on like one of his best friends, right?
Yeah. There's so many things that were happening at that moment. It's unfortunate because it's like we live in this fucked up PC world, especially when we're talking about advertisers and people who are going to be paying our salaries and such, that you don't want to give them any more reasons. You're already asking, and I understand that context, we're always going to be fighting for context, but at the end of the day, these advertisers are still going to have to be okay with Elliot Rodger content. So now you're asking to be okay with Elliot Rodger content and you fucking calling him every name in the book if there's a disagreement. You know what I mean?
It's kind of a tall order.
It's a lot to ask. And so not even saying that Mumkey's wrong for being that emotional. I just think it adds extra barriers. It adds more.
It's one of those like you can't, having your cake and eating it too kind of things. Right. Like,
but it is scary.
I wish the best for Mumkey. I hope he's able to somehow monetize his show.
Yeah.
In whatever way he does.
Has that affected you and your content at all? Everything that happened with Mumkey, have you found yourself making changes to be a little bit more careful? Or do you even worry about that? Do you feel that you're edgy enough to even warrant that?
I will say I was very hesitant about making that video about BG Cumby for that particular. Yeah, for that. I had wanted to cover that topic for about a month or so. Like even it was around the time when Mumkey was getting in trouble and I had the script written for it or I was working on it. And I was worried. I was like, I don't know. Is talking about someone trolling Fox News, is that considered at this point? Because that's technically, like trolling could be considered some kind of harassment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anything's hate speech. So you gotta be careful.
Shit, man. I think I and a lot of people who make content similar to me more cautious about what they talk about.
Yeah.
Are
you willing to compromise? Because I mean, like, it does seem that there are people that are not, and they're not going to, and maybe because they haven't been tested. But if that push come to shove situation happens for you, are you willing to change your content to appease YouTube?
The thing is, man, that I'm interested in making videos about isn't necessarily some egregious shit that'll like get me flagged or it's super crazy. I mean, there are some or edgy stories that I do want to cover, but I'm willing to sort of myself, but just the type of stuff I'm interested in general making doesn't require me to go that far off to the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. No, I fully understand.
There's some channels that are like inherently political, or there's some channels that talk about, those horror story type channels. They've gotten hit like really hard from YouTube's new policies and stuff.
Yeah.
Can't censor a horror story, for fuck's sake. It'll be boring.
But then it just becomes a story.
Yeah, I guess just to concisely answer your question, like I feel like my channel has never really been in a position to where I have to compromise because just the nature of the topics aren't crazy.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the craziest video I've probably done as far as me being surprised that it's monetized is the fucker right in the pussy guy.
Legendary fucker right in the pussy guy.
That video is fully monetized and it got approved manually.
Is it really?
I can't believe it.
That's funny.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm glad you covered that too. Because I like that you're doing the Legends of YouTube stuff. I think that's fun. I think that's great. And I don't watch a lot of content. Like, especially commentary stuff. I like to talk about shit, but I'm old. My time is used for resting and masturbation and eating only. Not necessarily in that order, but it's basically it.
I watch a lot of I watch the weirdest shit on YouTube. I've been on this paleontology fucking I've been watching all kinds of paleontology videos about dinosaurs and shit, man.
Fucking why not? I use YouTube more for finding old television show clips than for like anything else. Like if I just want something really obscure, like if I want to watch like a really hard to find Disney cartoon from like the 80s or 90s. That's where I go. You know, it's like YouTube will have it.
Yeah, or some old Looney Tunes shit or something.
Now there are a few that, like I've gotten into the weeds over the last few years of my life. You know, dealing with pain every day, not wanting to use prescription drugs and everything. I found marijuana to be a very, very good way of dealing with stuff. Now the reason why I bring that up is because you would think, where is he going with this? I am actually going somewhere with this. You bear a striking resemblance to a fairly big.
Is this Crutch 420?
Crutch 420, motherfucker. You look just like him. You look just like this dude.
I think almost, I'm not even fucking lying to you, man. I'll get like 10,000 comments a video. A good 500 comments are Macaulay Culkin and Crutch 420 comparison comments.
Yep.
I get compared to them. People say I look like Theon Greyjoy.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that, yeah. Reek. Fuck yeah, Reek. That's what I'm talking about. People just, it's like, I don't know. It's because I'm a extremely pale white guy with blonde hair. Apparently, I look like a bunch of famous people. That's right. You're the master race. You have the genetic code. That's right.
Some people call me PewDiePie and stuff, which is really. There's a little bit of lore between me and PewDiePie, I think.
A little bit. It's why why he was used in the thumbnail, yeah.
Dude, okay. Can I give you my conspiracy theory about how... Because you know about the shout-out, right?
Yes, and that's the main reason why Donna Danny, who did the thumbnail, by the way, big shout-out to him for that, who does all the thumbnails for the live chats, does a great job. Yeah, that's why he put him in there, because of the shout-out. But there's more to it. Let's hear the lore of PewDiePie. Okay. This will be fun.
So... It all started back with one of my early commentary videos where I called myself PewDiePie's cousin, and I did it in a very ironic way, serious but not really. And there was some, it was sort of ambiguous to people who weren't familiar with my content. In the comment sections, they're like, "Okay, wait though, are you really PewDiePie's cousin?"
Oh, that's too funny.
Because I guess at the time of the way my facial hair was or whatever, I kind of looked like him. So I kind of ran with it. I'd bring it up every now and then in a video. And then I actually made this video called, it was like PewDiePie Exposed or something.
Yeah.
And I go on this, it's like a complete like video essay where I go on this ridiculous story where I say I grew up with Felix in Sweden, God. and I would go to his house every weekend and we'd play like Super Smash Brothers and stuff. And he ended up like punching me when I was a kid, and I had some traumatic experience from it, so we don't talk anymore.
Oh,
I came up with this huge story, and I kind of after that laid off of it completely. I might make a reference to the PewDiePie cousin thing every now and then.
Right? Yeah.
It was like completely quiet, and then a month ago, PewDiePie does his video, the one that has who's the guy that they were calling a Nazi? ER.
Yeah,
the video where he shouted out ER, he shouted me out. I got people texting me and stuff too. PewDiePie just shouted you out, and he's explicitly like, these are channels that I like and I watch. So I'm thinking, how in the fuck one of my viral videos did PewDiePie find me? Because he seems like one of those dudes that's got like Google alerts on his name. He's got his eyes everywhere.
He's Captain YouTube. You'd hope.
So
I'm
thinking, somewhere down the line, he must have watched the PewDiePie Exposed video or something like that. And I was in the back of his mind for the last year. And I guess he started to see that I was finally making some good shit. And I guess he felt that was worth a shout out.
I'd say so. And you've had no contact with him, right?
I've never spoken with him.
Have you tried to DM him? Have you tried to hit him up a little bit?
I follow him on Twitter and that's it. Like I don't even think you can send messages to him if he doesn't follow you back. He doesn't follow me back either. So
see, that to me, this is something that I feel needs to happen because you have a legitimate question to ask. And I mean, maybe this is kind of one of those things where if you meet God, the one thing you should never ask is why. But I feel this is the one time where if you're going to meet somebody who is potentially, and he is not even potentially, he's undoubtedly somebody who could jumpstart anyone's career. So he's kind of God in this situation. This is the one time where I think it's fully acceptable to ask why. Would you want to know why?
I would love to know why. I'd like to tie up the whole lore story, you know?
Oh, fucking A, right. But it is something that you can use for years to come. If he never like reaches out to you, never talk to him, you can continue to bring this up every so often and go places with it. It's kind of a godsend, really.
It's and I'll always have the clip of PewDiePie saying, "Go check out Wave It Web Surf. Good stuff here, PewDiePie."
Were you a little disappointed that it was that video that you got?
I actually love it. I actually love that. I think that's like hilarious.
It's like of all the fucking times for the shout you out, it's like he chose.
Well, it was so funny because like a few people in the NCO chat were like, "Oh, Wavy, you got shouted out." I'm like, "Holy crap!" And then fucking Justin Wang, like an hour later, retweets this article from the, I don't know, BuzzFeed or somebody wrote the ER article, and they were like, it was like, PewDiePie shouts out Nazi in recent video, and the caption was like, Wavy Web Surf, what have you done?
Right, yeah. It's so, oh my God. I knew, how much shit did you get in private? Did you get any shit in private? Because I kind of figure you probably wouldn't, because everybody knows how ridiculous and absurd this is. But did anyone give you any shit that you finally got the PewDiePie shout out? But it was probably one of the least effective ones because it came with the other shit that it came with.
Well, honestly, it was actually, I feel like that for just my name being in the description box and him having like a 4-second clip of saying my name.
Yeah, no, you're
dude,
right.
I gained, I think I did a little math on it, like almost like 8,000 subs from it, just from that.
Really?
Like maybe even 10K. But no, the boys in the NCO, like nobody was giving me shit really. I think it wasn't a big deal about it. We, talked about how it was dope, and more so, I've had people in my real life who I talk to every now and then, and they've messaged me on Facebook, and they were like, "Holy shit! I was watching PewDiePie's latest video, and was that you? Is that you in that video? Like, are you Wavy Web Surf?" I was like, "Yep." It's just that's what's been more interesting is people in real life who have messaged me.
What's the bigger accomplishment in your mind? When you hit 200K here inevitably, or that PewDiePie shout out? Now, I understand one helped propel the other to get you to the other, but what meant more as an individual accomplishment? Just the fact that you got that shout out and no one can ever take that away from you. That's a cool thing to have. Or just the growth in general. What's bigger?
I definitely value that shout out quite a bit.
Yeah.
If I could frame it and put it on a wall somehow, I don't know, if it was like one of those fucking Harry Potter pictures that plays like a movie. You know how they have the paintings?
You'd have your own GIF. You'd have a GIF photo.
Yeah, I'd have a GIF painting of PewDiePie shouting me out, but
of that 4 seconds just looping forever.
Yeah. Put it above my bed and just stare at it and go to sleep.
See, that's the answer that makes you you. A non-YouTube a non-YouTube fan and a non-fan of the stuff that they're doing will say the views and the growth every time. But you say the shout out by the king of YouTube. I love that. No, that's great.
I think it's just a great internet story. I'm about that shit.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're all just telling stories. One way or another. We're either telling stories about other people or we're recounting our own tales. But that's what we're doing. So it just to have that is even cooler. So that's a really neat thing. Fucking Pewds. The closest I think I've ever had to that would be when Pyrocynical just showed up for and I understand now Keem has more subs and all that type of stuff. So having him on would probably be the biggest. And from an interview standpoint, it was. But from a shock standpoint, when I'm just interviewing Piplad, and here comes Colossal's Crazy and fucking Pyrocynical just showed up.
This like what era was this?
Had to be 2 years ago. And
okay. So during the pinnacle of everything.
Yes, it was right at the height of everything. It was right after Catch 33 was announced, I believe. It was wild, man. It was
that's like some if that's recorded, I would imagine that's like a historical piece right there.
Oh yeah, man. It just to hear this burly sounding, deep voiced fucking guy just pop up. Someone who I have watched too. That was a trip. That tripped me up a little bit. I didn't know what to do. I
go back sometimes. There's like a lot of those hour-long interviews. There's just so many good because you know how Bo Blacks has archives on his channel of those interviews with Keemstar and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch some of that shit just in general intrigue of how wild that time was. Like,
pretty crazy.
Episodes, Catch 33 episodes. I still listen to them every now and then.
Yeah, it was an interesting time that you don't. I think the reason why it worked, you know, for at least why it did, is because it wasn't something that you saw a lot. You would see that in like regular entertainment, but for a split to happen like that, and then an offshoot rivaling podcast comes right up, and we had a little bit of success right out of the jump. It's just unfortunate that things wound up the way they did, but such is life, and there's always opportunity for another day.
It's only been said by a million people, but it was never meant to last. It was inherent. It had a expiration date on it, man.
Unfortunately, it did. It did, and you know what? It might even just be because of the nature of what Baited was. That Baited especially. I think anything associated with that had an expiration date, and maybe we all just didn't realize it, which is very possible.
It's like I can't remember what the fuck it's from. I think it's a character on The Office that says it, but it's like, if only you could realize the good times were here. Yeah. Like when they happen. I can't remember who says that, but it's funny as fuck.
Yeah. If only you could. That's one thing. We all have that issue of living in the moment that we're in to realize how awesome something is. Because we're constantly thinking about, for one, how do we not fuck this up? And two, how do we make this better for the future? When in reality, we should just be, you know, appreciating this incredible thing that's happening at the moment that it is. It's hard, though. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard.
Absolutely, man.
It's fun either way. I got a couple more things for you, and then if you're down for it, we'll take a couple calls.
I'd love to take some calls. I'm excited about that.
Awesome. If you guys want to jump into waiting to call in my Discord, get in there now. Go down below into the description box, and you will see that link. One of my mods will put it in the comment section because they're sexy and wonderful. Get in there, and we'll be there in just a moment to start dragging you guys up. All right. So back to a couple last questiones before we get out of here. A saying that I have repeated ad nauseum, and I know you've heard Tommy say this a million times as well, is that nobody does this alone. We believe that. It's something that's probably left over from our time in the military. It's just something that I've always believed in as a kid as well. I guess it's just something... I would say that it was something you would believe in as well. And if that is true, who are some of those around you that you feel that you wouldn't be able to do the things that you have accomplished if you didn't know them?
Talking about like YouTube wise,
yeah,
on the internet.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to The Right Opinion and the whole NCO for sure. Helpful to have people who are all in the same mindset as you, sharing ideas and shit. And they've been very, very supportive through the time. Definitely, I'd say when I was really small, it was helpful to get on the show with Tommy.
Yeah.
And Tommy has actually helped me out privately on a few occasions with some pretty serious shit. So shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Willie Mac and Turkey Tom for sure. They've been some of my good friends on YouTube as far as just talking about, is this video a good idea, blah, 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 and just kind of talking about the community in general. I love chopping it up with them.
Yeah. Now, real quick on that, since you brought those two up, one of the questions that people were asking, what's the state of your guys' podcast, you, Willie Mac, and Mr. Turkey Tom? What is the state of your podcast?
So Major Minor Podcast, we have like 5 or 6 episodes uploaded. It's just in this defunct stage, and is a reason for it. It's pretty simple. Everybody's busy, and Willie Mac is really lazy.
Get off your fucking ass, Willie Mac.
So basically, Turkey Tom is in school right now, and he's not really uploading videos either.
No, he's not.
So that's kind of he's just a basket case over there.
But guess what?
Uploads.
He will be coming here very soon.
Yeah, so look out for that. And I'm a pretty busy guy myself. I have a full-time job and I upload weekly videos. So,
mystery solved.
We're gonna come back though. It's, you know, with that podcast, I don't think we ever really intended it on being a weekly thing. It's more so for fun and. Right. I don't get to talk about commentary topics in my video, so it's a good place for me to kind of vent.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really wanted to do an episode about, talking about Just Destiny, because Tom and Willie both have some words.
Yeah.
Even though that topic is being covered ad nauseum right now, it's like,
isn't it?
Still.
It's getting covered, fucked up, recovered, re-exposed. What do you think of this fucking real quick? Let's not tangent too hard, but this entire Just Destiny thing, the way that it's happened, there are still a lot of people who are not fully against Just Destiny and the way that he reacted and the way that responded. What are your basic thoughts on the whole situation with this, about using the power that you have to bully? And that's what he was doing. I mean, one way or another, bullying a smaller content creator and trying to make sure they cannot criticize you, which is what this was all over. How do you feel about that whole thing?
Dude, it's something that if you engage in, you'll find yourself pretty much being excommunicated with the entire YouTube community that matters. We don't fucking tolerate that shit, especially after what's happened to Monkey.
Yeah, right.
Anybody, dude, like I don't understand how somebody could be so misguided and so unself-aware that they would strike someone's video down and not expect this kind of reaction.
Right. Use the tactics that they did.
In a time where YouTube is basically trying to censor people already without being struck down, now you got to worry about people who can't take criticism from a 15-year-old kid.
Right.
So a couple of people are on a handful of people are on Twitter calling you a pedophile. I thought this was the commentary community. It's just like your first day in, and shit happens all the time. Like, and then you strike his video down for that. I think this dude he's not. I mean, there's got to be something wrong with him, man. Yeah. He's not one of us, and I say one of us as people who, the YouTube community that actually cares about the future of the platform. Right. He's not on the right side of history.
No, he's not.
As far as like, people like to argue about the was he really sexualizing the kids in the thumbnails? Blah, blah, blah.
Relevant.
It's irrelevant at this point. Yeah. It's his reaction that is he did this all to himself.
Yeah. I honestly think that of all the things that was said, and yes, including the getting of a lawyer, the getting of a cheap ass fucking lawyer, which is what he did to try to scare this kid. The worst thing that he did was when he started talking about how he felt he was somehow being bullied in this situation by that kid. That's what told me there's something wrong with him. Because in 2019, that you can't believe that anymore. There's no way. When you're that much bigger than somebody and you're swinging down in this situation, there's no way you could believe what you just said. It's impossible.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like he is upset that people are giving him shit for what in his mind he believes he's legally in the clear for going after this kid. So he feels like people are trying to do him an injustice by not letting him go through with his lawsuit.
Right. And if anything, they're just muddling the waters. Keemstar did it too. Because now everybody's talking about everything else except the core fucking issues. It's the same thing that happened with that the mystery box shit that we just had with Rice Gum and all those. Nobody was talking about how the fact that it was later be 100% proven by a YouTube law guy, Mr. Leor, man, that dude is fucking awesome, that it is a fucking illegal activity that mystery box shit was doing. But the bigger problem that nobody was talking about was the fact that people weren't getting the shit that they were getting. Instead, we were talking about whether or not Rice Gum was promoting illegal gambling to kids. We were getting the wrong message because why? Because it was sexier? I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I don't
know. Somebody in the chat asked what were my thoughts about Keem's interview on it. Yeah, I've seen people kind of give Keem shit for that interview because he
the pedophile thing
where he was like, yeah, I overall thought like that interview was actually really good. I think he scared the shit. I thought he scared the shit out of that kid when he started talking about, look, dude, you can lose your channel from, filing fake strikes. I think Keem's interview definitely shook Just Destiny. Pedophile allegations aside or whatever in Keem's interview, I really don't care. I thought it was pretty solid, and I'm hoping, dude, I'm hoping that the dude just fucking backs off and takes this L. nothing else you can do now. You got to take the L. It's pretty much done.
We're seeing that people don't want to take the L's anymore. You think it's because taking the L is such a meme and you don't want to do it? We just saw with the Tonka situation, a clear example of somebody not wanting to take an L. The Ian Miles Chong thing, another clear example of somebody not wanting to take an L. There are so many of these situations that are happening more frequently.
Hey, shout out to Tommy. Like, he had to take the fattest L of his career probably lately.
With that.
I gotta say, I sent him a message and stuff. I felt so bad for him, but he's right. He sticks up for so many people, and it finally caught up to him.
You know, the funny thing is that whole situation, the fact that that he ate the L and everything, it kind of got stepped on by everything that happened with Tipster. So it almost got lost in that. But he did. He ate the L, which you have to do sometimes. Right.
He took it, man. He took
I
it
supported
like a
Tonka too, man. It fucking happens. I thought Tonka was going to go stomp him out. You know the biggest reason why I'm pissed off at Tonka? The biggest reason is because he made those fuckers look halfway good. Those motherfuckers on that other side there, he made them look good. And that just irritates me. It's like, Jesus Christ. It just pisses me off. My boy Eats, Nick Diorio in the chat. Nick Eats Diorio. He says the consensus is the interview was good. Pedo allegations cannot be pushed aside, however, and that is 100% true. And I'm glad that you and Tommy hit that as hard as you did. I'm not sure how much it's going to matter long term, but I think you guys hit the right aspect. And you can tell me if you think I'm right on this too. It's not just the fact that Keemstar said said what he said and asked if he liked to touch kids. I think it has more to do with that this isn't the first, second, third, or even fourth or fifth time that he's done this, and maybe people are finally getting tired of it.
You're talking about like the pedophile, like calling people a pedo
with Keem in particular. You know, I mean, this is he nailed that interview, man. He scared the fuck out of this kid, and then he gave him a little bit of a pass. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it was. I think it was unnecessary. Like, it didn't help the interview at all.
No.
I missed the show today, Nick. So I didn't really get to. I would like to go back and watch the show and see what Tommy had to say about it, kind of get his perspective before I really comment on that.
Yeah. Well, fair
enough. Pedo allegations, you know, that's some pretty serious stuff for sure.
It really is.
It is kind of, it is humorous, like how frequently Keemstar didn't call somebody a pedo. It's
not even just the act of calling someone a pedo. It's that unnecessary thing that Keemstar feels that he has to do in so many situations. Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
I've never been like a huge stan of it, but I've watched episodes.
There's a character by the name of John Ralphio, and he's a fucking idiot. He's not a main character. He's a side character, but every time he comes on, he does this little thing where he would rap. He would do these stupid raps, and the bars would be sick, right? And then it would be like something along the lines of this. Like, I had a ball, and we took a fall, and we went down this long, great hall to the Burger King. He'd put the last line in that fucks up the entire rap and rhyme. That's what Keemstar does constantly. I can see him getting those punches in, fighting, got him against the fucking ropes, got everything going, boom, and then pedo, no, you missed. You allowed the counter punch. No,
I think it definitely didn't. It definitely, I guess, that's a really funny analogy.
Yeah.
But in that interview, like, I don't think it took the interview from an A+ to like a C or anything. It might have taken it from an A. I think it might have taken it from an A+ to like, if anything.
Do you find it weird that not only after the interview it seemed that Just Destiny's sub loss stemmed and Drama Alert started losing subs? Do you find that, a correlation, or do you think there's another reason for those two things happening?
I was actually really confused by that. I don't know. My first response is to think that it's just people who are just Destiny fans unsubbing. I really don't know though.
See, that's the case that Nick and Tom were making earlier. That pedo thing could be that very reason, because it simply turned people off, especially after 20 minutes of good interview, and then you show that you're still this guy after all of this. This was a layup. You know, I don't know.
That's an interesting take. Like maybe people, his older fans or something, people that remember are tired of it. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I thought it was because it was like 1,000 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's significant. It's 3,000 altogether. And Keemstar came on Tommy's show earlier and said, "What the fuck is 3,000? Like, how could you be that brazen at this point?" The one thing that I learned from that interview with Keem, and it will always probably be the most interesting and captivating thing I ever fucking do, is you can't figure him out because you can't. You think that you can. You think that you're. There was a spot in that interview where we were talking about something. I think it was the KSI, the Deji thing, everything that we were talking about that, and he was getting very introspective. It was all this wonderful stuff, and then I asked him a question that followed up on all of it. It was that moment, right? That turn of the moment where it all makes sense, and you think that you just got through to somebody, you just made a breakthrough, and then he answered with something like, "Fuck no," and I was just like, "No, I believed for a second."
Oh my dude. You just reminded me of one of the funniest fucking clips that I've ever seen Keemstar involved in, and it was on that stream at the end of that fucking stream where he says, "I just want to." Something like, "I just want to watch everything burn and at the end of the day retire." And you're like, "Wait, so you're fucking Thanos?"
Yeah,
like, dude.
He's just like that. When that day comes and somebody beats me and somebody finally gets the better of me and ends me, I can look out and look at the sky and just be happy. I was just like, "Motherfucker, did you just go full Thanos here?"
And you know, you can, if you rewatch the clip, you can kind of hear him chuckling a little bit.
Oh yeah, he chuckled. He chuckled.
It's hilarious, man.
Dirty little secret. He did reblock me after that, but dirty secret. I've said this a couple of times, but he wrote me after the Kavos interview that was later that day, and he kind of thanked me, sort of, not really, in in the Keemstar fashion. He goes, "I got to be honest, I really needed to talk about those things. I feel a lot better about I'm Alex and Kavos after being able to talk about it in that manner." That made me feel great.
That's pretty cool.
That made me feel really, really good. It really
definitely
does.
Never heard it. Hopefully he doesn't double block you for saying that.
I don't give. What the fuck do I care? See, that's the beauty about never kissing the fucking ring. I don't give a shit. Anytime that motherfucker wants to come and give me more money, that's totally fucking fine. I'll have him on. I think he's the most fascinating person I've ever talked to. I mean that. He is fascinating, man. That dude. Woo! Fascinating. Maybe a little misunderstood in some instances, but not in enough to make you think that he's a good person. Not for a second.
It's very interesting looking at his history and where he is now, for sure.
Oh God, yeah, and just not seeing too many of those interviews, and now he's doing more of them. But I was the first. I was one of the first people that he was giving that to. So it's interesting, and I'm very grateful for it. It was crazy. It was crazy to be a part of.
Yeah, it was a great watch for sure, man.
Well, let's go back to you for a second, because I don't want to make it not about you, because we don't need to make everything about the almighty Gnome Star, because this is you. So we got one more question. We're going to go back to the thing that I told you we do earlier, where we take a question, a style of question that you see so often in interviews, and we first show how it's done improperly, and then maybe find a better way to go about it after. So, as you know, this is the ass suck question. Because yeah, we know how many dick sucking questions there are out there. So
I was feeling a little dry over here, Dave.
Well, let me suck you properly, my friend, with this. You know, you've garnered a lot of success in a short amount of time that you've stayed seemingly an awesomely nice guy during this entire climb. More creators out there should be keeping it real, just like you have. So let me ask you, what's the key to being successful while being as real as you've been able to be?
Well, being older and a little bit mature is super helpful. I just try to carry my YouTube channel like I'd carry a conversation with somebody in real life, man. I mean, when I'm talking about topics, that's how I would explain it to you if you were sitting right next to me. I think the way that you interact with other YouTube creators and your fans is super important too. I see a lot of YouTubers, you know, they're not responding to comments in the comment section. They're not putting hearts on the comments and shit. Y'all need to step your game up. Ain't no slack in this Mac. Yeah, ain't no slack in the Mac over here.
I like that shit.
Like, you know, people, you know, I talk to people in my Discord all the time. I basically, when I was a small YouTuber, you know, every small YouTuber is on point with their social media and like interacting with their fans because, you know, they have all the time in the world. I try to remember what it was like when I was a small YouTuber and still, you know, do some of that stuff. You know, it's obviously to a smaller extent.
Sure.
I just try to stay humble, man. It goes a long way. People will notice it. Like it appears you noticed it. At least I try to be, you know, feelings on here.
Well, I think you succeed. You succeed. Now that's the ass suck version of the question. Here's basically the exact same question, but in a much better way, and I like this a lot more. Because at the end of the day, aside from everything that we just asked about, I find it interesting, and we talked about this just a little bit earlier, that you, while covering drama at times and covering trending topics at times, and everything that you've done in the time that you've been on YouTube, you've avoided drama yourself for the most part. What's your advice for people out there that are trying to stay out of the drama while covering it daily?
Study the game and don't say anything that could ever be used against you. If you need to be aware of all the people who have fucked up on YouTube in the past and study what they did and do the exact opposite. Like, so many of these people will make videos, put in their foot in their mouth, and then 6 months later, something comes up, they make a post on Twitter, and then there's a tweet 5 months ago that's literally conflicting what they said verbatim.
Yeah.
Get fucked up. I'm very cautious about the stuff I say on Twitter, and I'm very cautious about the stuff I say in my videos. You know, if I ever get anything wrong in a video, I'll make a retraction or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think people get in trouble because they just don't, you know, their shit's not on point and they're not watching what they say, because it will come back to haunt you, man.
Oh, sure.
That's how I think I've stayed out of the drama. I mean, I haven't said anything crazy, have I?
Not that I can point to. But most importantly, even if you have, you haven't made the enemies out there that want to expose those things. So, you know, maybe
really, that's true.
Yeah, it might. I think it's a little bit of both, because we see so many times with a lot of people, with what they're saying isn't even that bad, but it's being used in a negative manner by somebody who's got a little bit more pull. You haven't had that situation yet, and it's a good thing that you haven't. I think it speaks to exactly what we were just talking about, the type of character that you represent, the type of person that you are. So that's a big ups right there, my friend.
Appreciate it, bro.
No problem. All right. On that note, you want to take some calls?
Oh yeah, let's let the plebs in.
You're off the hook there. Hopefully, I didn't do too bad of a job, and you got interviewed to the fullest extent, and I put those questions all over your face, neck, and chest. I appreciate you sitting in there with me.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
All right, let's start with someone who's been in there the longest, I believe. My good buddy, the one and only, one of the most talented men on YouTube today, the Lord Vega. Yeah. What's up, buddy?
What up, bitches? At ease, gentlemen. At ease.
Fuck you.
What's up, Vega?
What up, baby? How you doing, wavy?
I'm doing well, man. How are you, bro?
Good, man. Dude, I blinked and your ass was like over 100,000. I was like, what the fuck?
It took about like 4 weeks, dude. It was a blink. It's
very strenuous.
Yeah,
hard work,
indeed. What's up, Vega?
So I got a question, right? I noticed that there's like this little section, right, of YouTube now. I only really knew from like Justin Wang,
right?
I would say, right? He kind of had that vibe, that whole thing going on. There's is there a whole community of y'all motherfuckers out there? Pretty much, I would say so, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really been defined as a community, but I mean, I could go ahead and just name people who I feel like fit in it. It's like me, Internet Historian, Justin Wang, even like Gamer from Mars.
Yeah, he might be the OG.
Yeah, he is the OG for sure. I can't think of anybody who's been around longer than him.
I was actually going to ask you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's like I don't know. I think there's just a lane for it that's opened up. And we all kind of cover different topics within that internet history lane.
That's what I find the most interesting.
It's not like the
you'll see
commentary
something-
section where everything is the same. Like every commentator is going to have a video on whatever comes next. You don't see that in their section. Is that what you're saying, Vega?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not necessarily. That's not what I meant to say, but that is the truth.
Yeah.
Nothing against the either community. Just saying, I find it more interesting seeing a Justin Wang video pop up, and he's talking about some weird, crazy shit, and for some reason I click on it on every time, and I watch the damn thing because I'm like, I don't know, I don't even know what he's talking about. I'll see like something that's obviously recognizable, like the Ultimate Warrior. What happened? Was there really one Ultimate Warrior? I'm like, you know what, bitch, I remember that. I'm gonna click on this video because I want to know what happened.
It's funny.
And then here comes. Go ahead.
No, we have like two different sections. It's like it's funny when you look at it. You have one that acts just like the storytellers, and then the other ones, they're kind of like the ambulance chasers. The commentary community is kind of like the ambulance chasers. It's like, oh, something happened. We got to chase that bitch down to get her story in. While Wavy and Justin Wang and such, and then Game from Mars simply just tell the stories of the things they want to talk about. A little bit of a difference.
It's almost
there.
like a. And again, no disrespect, but I would say it boils down to, like, if you have a commentator, I'd say the formula would be, hey guys, this is what happened today, or this is what's trending today, or this is what happened, or this is what's going on. Here's my opinion. I'll see you next week.
Right.
That's kind of the formula. And then you go over to where Wang, Wavy, Mars, all these guys, and then you already know it's going to be like, remember that one thing?
Right.
And then fucking they jump into it, and you're like, yeah, what did happen? Like immediately the question of the title of the video is a question that I'm like, what did happen to that stupid ass lion? What the fuck?
Exactly.
Like, it is interesting.
I love how we do all cover a different time frame, which I noticed, like, because I'll do stuff that's basically within the realm of YouTube time, so it'll be like 2006 to like 2000 whatever year it is now, I guess, modern times. Wang will do stuff before YouTube was around. Like, he does some crazy shit that, like, I was in middle school for, but I don't remember that much. Like, You're the Man Now Dog story. Yeah. And then, like Gamer from Mars, he does YouTube stuff, but it's more like the careers of YouTubers and how they started off and how they ended up, like, falling off. And, Internet Historian just kind of does, he does more polished, like, documentaries about stuff. So everybody's kind of got their own lane.
And I think it's fucking awesome. I'm glad that landscape is starting to get, because we only really had Gamer from Mars. My original question was, I don't even know if you answered this question, because I had to step away because I had a knock on my door, and I'm like, okay, let's get the gun.
That's funny.
But anyway, I wasn't expecting nobody. But my question was, when you decided, all right, I'm going to make this content, because I say we because I don't think anybody like me or David or Dave heard of you before you were on Tommy's show. I didn't personally.
I didn't know who he was before I.
And then Tommy, like you guys talked about previously, he actually does always kind of do that, right? He brings on somebody. Next thing you know, they blow up like a month, 2 months later, and fucking, which is great. But what caused you to be like, all right, you know what? I'm doing a commentary thing. That's great, all fine and dandy, right? I'll hang over here, but I want to do this kind of content. And who was the one that inspired you to do it, if anybody? Or did you just say, you know what, fuck it, nobody's talking about this shit? Like, what was that?
So I had the idea for the like the storytelling kind of shit, because I'd been wanting to do it, and you asked kind of who inspired it. It was definitely, I'll give all the props for the inspiration to Justin Wang, just because we were friends. We talked a lot, and I'd seen what was popping. Yeah, he started popping a few months beforehand, and internet history stuff. Like, if you listen to earlier in the interview with Dave here, I said I had some videos, like really early videos that were about YouTube history and stuff. It was something that I did before commentary, so I wanted to go back to it, and I was like, well, I'll just kind of do this like behind the music type thing on somebody, but instead of being behind the music, I'm going to pick somebody that I just randomly want to know what happened to. And that person, the first one was about Froggy Fresh, like Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to know what the fuck happened to this guy. And I made that video, and it was like the first one blew up. So to me, that was like, let's keep doing this. And
right.
Yeah, and I would say that usually when I see something like that, like I'm not going to mention who the person is. I think he's a nice guy. But I see plenty of people that do this, but he's the most recent that I've seen. Where if something pops off, one specific thing, right, that they did, If that shit pops off like 100K, 200K within a couple of days, they just kind
That's
of
their whole content.
They rush that formula, and it's like literally like number 2, number 3, number 4, part 4 of whatever the fuck that was.
It's
like,
another carbon copy.
That's not what you were trying to do from the get go. You just popped off your milking, which all fairness to them.
Hey, respect the hustle, sure, yeah.
I respect that, but at the same time, I'm still an audience member, right? I consider myself half fan, half creator. I've been motherfuckers live streams. They got 4 people in there. You know what I mean? Like, so when I see that though, that fan inside of me is like, yo, fuck this, dude. What the fuck? This is what I got. You know, like,
yeah.
This is what you're doing with your opportunity.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, some fans may feel with certain people like betrayed by the shifting content.
Yeah,
I really had that problem on my channel because I don't think my commentary videos were even that insightful, honestly. So whenever I switched to the new format, like my fans really just liked hearing me talk and they liked my personality. So they're like, oh shit, so we can watch the personality videos and it's also interesting subject matter. So my fans were pretty chill with it. I feel like they were really sad when I took the It's Your Boy out the videos, but other than that,
I removed It's Your Boy from my videos too, man. It has to be done. You got to get rid of It's Your Boy. They all have to die.
See, now I got to do it.
You got to get rid of it. You can't have it no more.
I'm gonna say it.
No,
I never said it.
You can't do it. No, I'm telling you, man, it's a death sentence. Don't do it. Come up with something else. Anything else.
Well, Wavy, the point I was trying to make was when I see that, I'm usually like, yeah, what the fuck? But when you did it and you switched over, it seemed like it was natural. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you already been doing this shit.
Like he found his home.
Back to it. Yeah, it's almost like you came back to it, but you never did it.
Right.
Before. And I was like, yo, this is fucking interesting.
I remember you left me a message when I made that, it was like a video essay kind of. That one video that I did about the YouTube like system.
Yeah. Well, personally, I love, other than commentary, that I go to naturally is video essay. I don't know if they have like a community, or I don't know if they talk to each other, or they're even like, you know what I mean? A community.
Everyone's got a community. Everyone's got a community.
But there's a community where people are constantly talking with each other. They know each other, each other's videos.
Wait, are you talking about gay ops? Is that what you're talking about now, Vega? Are you suggesting that Wavy web surf getting some weird historian gay op? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh, okay.
But that's fine. You're a good host.
I'm trying to dig deep, Vega. I'm just trying to dig deep. Okay.
But that's why I hit you up, Wavy, because I was like, yo, this video essay, I like that shit. And then you kind of just made it a hybrid. And then that's why I was asking you who kind of inspired that, because Justin Wang kind of led the charge here within the community to do that stuff. But Gamer from Mars has been doing it. There's a couple of videos that I see from Gamer from Mars that I get a little clueless on. Was this clickbait? But I like watching him because he'll say like, what happened to A3 stands out in my head. And he kind of just, said a bunch of stuff, and he's like, all right, guys. And I was like, wait, what?
That's just because I like Game from Mars. I do. But
I like that guy.
He's awkward. He's awkward. He's just an awkward guy, man. That's all it is. It's just awkwardness. Yeah. It's sheer awkwardness.
All right. Well, anyway, I don't want to take up more time. I just wanted to ask like the inspiration and all that stuff, just in case somebody out there is like, well, he's doing it. I can't do it. But you're like on fresh new ground. I like that shit, dude.
You absolutely can do it. That's the thing. Anybody can. You can go. You don't have to just throw something haphazardly together to try and to cash in. If you want to do this and you want to be passionate, people like Wavy Web Surf is exactly who you should be looking at for that, because they've done it. They've done it, and they've showed you. They've given you a blueprint of just sometimes say fuck the algorithm and do the things that you find most fucking interesting. Man.
Wavy Web Surf is the inspiration to these kids out here. Listen to Dave.
I just think it's funny that you motherfucker, like Wang, I'm notorious for muting somebody that is constantly spamming on Twitter, right? I get it, but I don't want to see that shit all day.
Wang does,
for some fucking reason, I cannot bring myself to mute Wang, dude.
You can't.
That motherfucker, he tweets and retweets a lot,
everything.
But almost everything I see that he does, I'm like, I can't even like this, because if not, his notification is going to be filled with nothing but Vega. And he's like, yo, Vega's a little weird. He won't leave my shit alone.
It's funny.
But the content you guys make is what I'm trying to say is like insanely interesting, when half the time I don't know what didn't know what you're talking about, which is why I clicked. Or the other time is like, Well, I like when you motherfuckers poke at some shit that you had to be at a certain age to kind of understand.
Yeah. It's that's the goal too, man. Like, I love when people say that they didn't have any idea about a topic and they watched the video and learned about it. That's really cool.
I love when I like the build up process and you go over it just to remind us. I mean, it might seem like a basic thing to do, but I think it's just great that you build it up. No bullshit either. Like no fucking and you drone on for 10 minutes about one little thing. You just go through it and then you're like, well, come to find out, and it's like, oh no, he's in jail again. This motherfucker got locked up again. Okay. Well, anyway, let me stop bullshitting.
All right, Vega.
All right.
Tell the kids where they can find you.
Looking forward to your new video.
Oh yeah, it's coming soon, man. Coming soon. I put up a little preview on there.
Yeah, hurry up, motherfucker, because we got an interview to do.
I know, I'm leaving. Okay, D Lord Vega on Twitter and whatever. Search Lord Vega. I'm sure you'll find me or some other guy. Bye-bye.
No, I meant hurry up, get your video out so we could do our interview, stupid. I didn't mean hurry up with your plug.
Oh, our video. Okay, got it. All right.
Talk to you later, you freak of nature. Lord Vega, everybody. Good Lord. Man, that actually hurt my cheeks. My God. All right, let's go to, we got a couple more callers. You good to take a few more?
Yeah, we can take a few more.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in. We'll try to go a little bit faster. Stony Draz, you're live with Dead on Dave, and Wavy Web Surf. Unmute your microphone, baby. Come on, you're here.
Stony is actually one of the longest present members in my Discord. So
oh, really? Okay, we got to get you in there, Stony.
I'm surprised he's screwing this big debut up.
He is. All right, we'll try to get him back in. Let's go to Joe Sports Channel. You're live with Dead on Dave and Wavy Web Surf. What do you got?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing okay, man. What's up?
I'm just coming on here. I just want to say you guys are doing absolutely a phenomenal job on this channel. And I watched you guys a couple of times. You guys have self of humor. Everything is going well for you guys, and you guys keep up the great work. I think you guys are one of the best YouTubers I've ever seen live stream ever in my life.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, man, you're just getting showered with compliments today, bro.
I know. I'm telling you.
I want to ask you guys a question. Actually, what do you guys mostly talk about? Because I'm a sports broadcaster. I'm a big sports guy. I like positivity and all that. What do you guys talk about?
You know, if you go back and you rewatch here, you'll see that I got a big smile on my face, and I'm laughing a little bit as you were giving me the compliment because we actually don't work together. We actually don't work together. This is just an interview. Wade Webster's an old friend. Yeah,
I mean, I'm a guest.
He's just a guest. He's just. This is Dead on Dave Live. I do all kinds of different things here. I do interviews. I do some sports. I do a whole bunch of different stuff here. But I do appreciate you loving the content, even though you may not know exactly what we do.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I watched you guys before. I was watching a couple of stuff you were doing, and I like the interviews. You have the voice. I don't usually tell this, but is that you, Dave? I'm talking to you right now.
Yes, it is.
I would love to have an interview with you on my show this weekend.
Well, I don't know about this weekend, as I do got a couple interviews that I got to do with some people that I've been putting off for, because I've had some really bad pneumonia and shit. But hit me up in the DMs, and we'll see if we can make that happen for you. All right?
Okay. My prayers are with you, man. You keep being humble.
Take it easy, brother.
Take care, buddy.
He has never watched a second of this before in his life.
Joe Sports Channel. Next YouTuber to hit 1 million subs. I'm telling you.
That was great. That was amazing.
That was funny.
You and I are great partners. We do amazing work together.
I guess you're gonna have to start putting me on payroll, Dave.
I love it. Not to shit out the guy or anything, but yeah, we.
Oh, that guy was a sweetheart.
Sweetheart, absolute sweetheart. No idea what was happening. No idea. All right, let's see if we can get Stony Draz on here again. What's going on, Stony Draz? Are you there? Come on, man.
Stony, you blew it, Stony.
He did. We'll give him one more chance. We'll go to a guy who will not screw this up. Bo Blacks, you're live with Dead on Dave and Wavy Web Surf. What's going on? What do you got?
Hey, what's up, guys? So,
What's up?
Yeah. So I was wondering if you think there's any more genres in the commentary community, like you know how you have your unique genre with covering old internet stuff. Do you think there's any more commentary genres that are kind of undeveloped or don't have enough people representing them in the community?
It's an interesting question.
I wish somebody would make more horror videos or something like that in commentary.
What style? Like as far as original stories, or like digging into actual horrific events, or digging into like the horror movie genre?
The wild shit, dude. Like the gruesome stuff.
Oh, okay. Mm.
I wish someone would do it, but you'd probably get demonetized.
Right? Yeah, you probably won't even be able to do it now. Jesus
And like
Christ.
and like Bo Blacks, like I feel like as far as like how far can you go with switching lanes before is it even a commentary video? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I guess what I do, is it considered commentary?
Well, I mean, it's talking about stuff on the internet. That's kind of how I define commentary.
Anything's I mean, radio show hosts are commentary. I mean, it's all commentary, really, when you think about it. I mean, you're going to talk about something and commentate on it at some point.
Yeah, it has that, and especially just in our community, like when you talk about commentary, it gets lumped into that drama community stuff.
Yeah,
it's like commentary / drama community. I don't know though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if what lanes could be occupied. So I guess that's for somebody else to figure out. And they could. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you figured it out and it benefited you, so.
Yeah, it was just something that I kind of always wanted to do and just tried it. Which I'm sure somebody out there has a really good idea and they'll just capitalize. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what pops up. I don't know who's going to be next.
Right.
Yeah. So many people in this community are actually such great editors and content creators that I'm actually really curious to see how they can apply themselves to stand out.
I think we're going to see more of that. Yeah.
I think there's going to be a new wave of people who blow up like at the same time, kind of like how me and Right Opinion and them did. Like
all you guys, yeah.
Like I feel like Bo Blacks, you've been making videos for a while, but now you're finally starting to catch some momentum and
Just stay away from Keemstar. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some.
Don't let him on live streams ever again, bud. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a good thing or
no,
a bad
it wasn't. That was bad.
I watched some of that the other night, Bo Blacks. That was a shit show, dude.
I thought it was fun. I came out looking kind of bad, I guess, but I thought it was fun. I don't regret it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got anything else for Wavy?
No, I was gonna ask about Major Minor podcasts, but you already covered that, so I want more episodes of that.
We'll try to get it back and running.
Okay.
There you go.
Later,
and thank you for the nice stuff you said about my channel earlier.
Oh yeah, I'm actually a big fan of your channel, Bo Blacks. I've been following you for a while. Like your archive videos are fucking amazing.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of your channel too, so it's kind of cool to hear you say that. But
does anyone like my stuff? I'm feeling left out here.
Yeah, dude, your Keem interview, you're a saint. You're a saint for dealing with Keem. After talking with him directly, like holy shit, like dude, like I don't know how you did it, man.
It being basically a lot of blow and no, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead and tell the kids where they can find you, Bo Blacks.
Oh yeah, you can search me up, Bo Blacks. My channel's there. The URL is youtube.com/c/BoBlacks2.
There you go.
And there's some pretty juicy stuff on there. So
yeah, he stole Keemstar's drama alert.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I love how he brought that up once. I brought up a valid point, and then he's like, "Didn't you steal my icon?" And I'm like, like okay. I don't know. It was fun.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot for the call.
Okay, no problem.
Have a good one. Let's bring in a good buddy, the Willie Mac. Oh yeah, we're bringing in the Willie Mac.
Is this the guy that I beat in Smash, and he only showed the clips where he won on his channel?
Dude, the footage doesn't lie.
No, but you do apparently, motherfucker.
The footage doesn't lie, man. It's definite wins across the board for Willie Mac show. Wavy.
Yo,
dude, you've blown up so fast. I'm super proud of you, man. And we haven't really had a chance to talk about it. But how many chicks have you picked up with your new growth, dude? Serious. We all know subs make up for inches, and you didn't have a chance at the beginning, but
woo!
If anything,
5 inches.
If anything, like it's a good conversation point if you're at the bar, like because if I'm with my friends. I don't go up to people. I'm not like, yeah, I make YouTube videos. You know, my friends will be drunk. You know, throw their arm around me. Hey, this is my friend. You know, he's got a big YouTube channel. So that opens up some doors. So I mean, if I was to just give you a number, I'd probably say about like 3 or 4 just straight through YouTube.
Oh, dude, that's pretty fucking dope. I didn't expect to get a real answer here, honestly.
No, I take everything you. I take you very seriously with your questioning, Willie. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, and as I want to jump on one of Bo Black's Bo Black's
Bo Flex something, yeah, it's something like that.
Bo Flex, yeah. Dude, your name is a tongue twister. I'm sorry. Dude, I don't think you're commentary, Wavy. I think doing history on YouTube isn't commentary. I think commentary is talking about current events and figures on YouTube, not past ones.
That's fair.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like the Review Tech USA is just commentary, but gaming.
Yeah, but he's like in the gaming community, not like a commentary community.
Well, right, but I think the point that he was trying to make earlier was it's all different variations of commentary. So it's like, while it doesn't have the same, something may not have the same format. Is it the format that makes something commentary community?
No. If it's the format, then everything ever made in the history of ever is commentary.
Well, not necessarily, but I mean just the act of commentating.
The NFL game, it's like, wow, you're watching commentary. You aren't.
Well, yeah, they're called commentators.
The difference is commentary on YouTube is associated with talking about current events and topics.
I agree with Willie. I agree with Willie.
That's the difference because of the community.
That's what I was kind of saying about why commentary gets lumped in with drama. I feel like on YouTube, commentary is a very specific thing that when you're referring to commentary, it's a specific genre.
Right.
Yeah. Don't think of the definition of the word commentary. Think of the community that surrounds it.
No, but what I was saying was, in context to the question that he was asked earlier, it was the next evolution of the commentary of what it could be applied to, which is what Wavy's doing with his own channel. It's just commentary over a different subject that does not necessarily make it commentary community, but it's still commentating, and that's what I think that was being brought up earlier. So if there was a little disconnection, it was because it was an offshoot of a question that happened earlier, which I'm not even sure.
Yeah, it's been I got distracted with the girls' question. I might have phrased it wrong.
No, you're good. You're good. Totally good.
I'm just surprised he's up to 3 or 4, dude.
Yeah.
Is that straight? That is kind of, I'm like looking back, that is like hella funny to have answered that question seriously.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys had a good interview. I only caught the back end. I'll have to rewatch the beginning and stuff.
No, it was a good one. You're coming soon, buddy. Well, next time I come to Chicago.
Not until I reach 100K. I'm only coming out if I'm 100K.
What the fuck is that? I don't know.
I'm only listen. If you come to Chicago, fine. But I need a separate interview if I hit 100K.
Oh, of course. Yes, you will. Just look. Hey, trust me. If I make any connection with, just like I did with Leon Lush, just like I will definitely be coming back for seconds the higher you go. When Wavy hits 1 million,
I don't want to be the petty interview on here where you're like, oh, I guess I'll help out this fucking guy who's been stuck at 6K for
trust me, I don't help anybody out. I have no juice. I have no pull at all, and I have no disillusions to it. But I will do this when Wavy Web Serve hits 1 million. I don't care if I haven't talked to him from this day to then. I'm going to ask him back on.
Hey, man, you want to do that?
I'll probably be talking to him too.
But yes,
I'll be dumping Willie at 200K. I'm just blocking Willie's number.
He's walking away.
Just hit your home run and go.
He's making me split that house for him at VidCon, and then he's dropping me.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing that, aren't we?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I'm looking forward to that. I'm so excited.
Well, you guys are getting. Wait, you're getting a house for VidCon?
We're staying with me and Willie for sure, and then like Justin Wang said he's going to stay with us too. So
you guys going to get an Airbnb?
Yeah.
You're going to try to recreate the 2017 experience that happened over there?
Well, we don't know that experience.
Well, yeah, I know, but we're going to try. I would think if I can guarantee that something like that will happen, where it's just going to be a bunch of cool people hanging out, I might even fucking go. Now that I'm in the States, it's definitely more of an option.
Dude, let's get Billy the Fridge. I want Billy the Fridge so bad. The Billy Willie combo, dude. That'd be sick.
It makes sense for me to go just for the interviews alone. Just to fucking do some live interviews and have some fun that way. And I need a fucking break, man. I'm dying. Life's trying to kill me. Dead on Dave needs to fucking take a break before Dead on Dave just becomes dead. It's bullshit.
Do it, man. Come through.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'll let you guys do your thing.
All right, Willie.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, buddy.
Hey, Will.
We'll try Stony Trask one more time, and then we'll get up out of here. Stony, you got one more shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. You are live with that on Dave. Wait.
I did not know you had to have push to talk on for this shit. So.
Wow.
Oh, wait, you got pulled in? Did you get pulled in twice? So you were like trying to talk and nothing was coming out?
Yeah, I was like sitting there trying to talk, and I'm like, "What the fuck? I'm trying to unmute this. What the fuck is this shit?"
That's because
and
waiting to
like,
call has push to talk, but up here does not.
Yeah, see, I did not know that. So, but like, now I'm just sitting there holding my finger on this. So, but no, I just wanted to say, like, it's kind of crazy, like, seeing your growth, Wavy, just because, like, I think I discovered you and Tommy like around the same time. It was during the whole like H3 Keemstar drama. Like
talking about the one when PewDiePie threw PewDiePie under the bus, or
yeah, the whole N-word situation, and then H3 pretty much calling out Keemstar for being drama, like TMZ for 12-year-olds. Like,
yeah,
all that. Shit.
That was a fucking minute ago now, dude.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, like I remember finding Tommy's live podcast, like talking about first, like heard about him. So I was like, okay, this is kind of like a different kind of person. And then I watched your video when you were talking about his problem with his whole drinking and shit. So then I was like, okay, he's just not talking shit. He's like poking fun, but also like making some kind of like little bit of points, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Stoney, you were there for the original interview with Tommy, right?
Oh yeah, no, the one where you got like shit plastered and kind of threw clown under the bus.
Yes, that interview, Dave. We were talking about it offline, but yeah. I did indeed get very wasted during that interview.
I didn't know.
If you go back,
I didn't know.
If you go back and watch, I have like a blue Solo cup that I keep drinking out of like every 5 minutes. I was so nervous. I was nervous to go on the show. So I went to the liquor store before the interview and bought a fucking quart of Evan Williams.
Oh, that's funny.
I had poured it into the cup, and I was just taking shots out of it during the interview. And I started getting drunk by like the 40-minute point. And then after the interview, I was so fucking drunk that I like had to go to my bathroom and throw up, and I got really sick. And I was on I was in a Discord call with like all my Discord. They were like, "Oh, Wavy," they were like, "Wavy, you did so good," and I'm just over there,
just retching.
Yeah, like he's all, "Guys, did I do good?" And then he just like disappeared. Next thing you know, you just hear his hearing, and then
he was so drunk. He was so drunk, he didn't even know I was there. That's how fucking drunk you were. That's amazing. That's amazing.
But like, it's funny because like halfway through. No, sorry, but like if you watch the interview, like you can't even really tell that he's like drunk. I think it's just because like that whole like Southern thing, like Southern people know how to hide that. Like being drunk really well.
Seem drunk all the time.
Yeah, we just thought you were Southern and stupid. Yeah, it's no big deal.
Exactly, I'll take that.
But not like, Dave, I've been a fan of yours too. Like seeing you with on Tommy's interviews, and I had subscribed to your channel, and I got to watch some of like your old ones.
Yeah, we've had a couple of cool moments.
Yeah, I always remember like when you first went back to the States. I think it was when you first got on with your VA, and then you were trying to figure out all your benefits and stuff like that, or something like that.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of different stuff. Unfortunately, the last year and some change has been a lot of personal stuff. I've been trying to get my life back in order. So no, I feel you there.
But no, them interviews you've been doing, they've been on fire, man. Like the Leon Lush and I'm Alex one, and then straight up the Kavos Keemstar, like double fucking.
What a day that was, huh?
I don't know. Like that was pretty crazy. And then I was like, oh my god, how like the mighty have fallen. Like Kavos, like Keemstar's like, pride child, finally is like seeing the wrath of Keemstar.
Yeah, I think the best thing that's come from it too is that it just kind of reminded people that I'm still around. And some people reached out to me and wanted to keep the interviews going, and I had a little bit more credibility to go to people and ask for the interviews and stuff, which I've always been bad with. So I got a lot to be thankful for when it comes from that entire situation with Keemstar, because without it, I probably wouldn't be interviewing Wavy right now. And I think this has been a bomb-ass one.
Yeah, you kind of fell off like the radar for a while, but that Keemstar interview definitely helped.
Oh, absolutely, no question.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, no, like definitely. I remember, like that's why I was wondering, because I was like watching your vlogs, like pretty like extremitaneous, because like when I'm working, like I could just throw them on and just hear you talk. Like I remember you talking about your Pokemon cards, and that's why I was like bringing me back nostalgia back to when I was in fucking elementary school.
Oh yeah.
Fucking sitting there battling on the fucking.
You gotta catch me on Twitch, man. I'm still live on Twitch every day. I'm doing the hat changes. I got all kinds of stupid Pokemon hats that I change into. Do them on this show too when we get donations. Do all kinds of stupid stuff. Still playing Pokemon. Come on over there and hang out, man. Every day.
I see. Like, I need to get more on Twitch because I notice a lot more people are like getting on there, like doing this shit on there.
Twitch is popping right now. I'm not even kidding. Twitch is fucking popping right now. Go take yourself to Twitch, man. It's popping.
But yeah, like I just say, like I remember, like I discovered Wavy, like I said, around like 7K, and like I remember like discovering Tommy at the same time, and that's pretty much when I discovered like the alternative commentary like community instead of like the whole mainstream one, because I was just watching like, you know, just the basics like Drama Alert, H3, and all that stuff. And then,
it was kind of a new lane back then.
It was, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like discovering like a different kind of thing where it wasn't just, I mean, they were still talking shit, but it wasn't like too much like backstabbing is what I was like.
It was shit talking without the extra drama layer. I think
exactly. It was more busting balls than just straight up, oh, I'm trying to get fucking like shit on you so I can use an exposure on you. You know, it's just, oh no, I'll bust your balls. You know,
yeah,
I'm gonna talk shit about this tapestry, and it's a tapestry, Dave. Get it fucking right. It's a tapestry.
I'm telling you, if it turns out that motherfucker really is painted on there, I'm going to find the motherfucking goddamn artist mastermind that did it, because he is going to be rich and famous, because that looks like a carpet. It's a goddamn carpet.
I don't know, man. It might be painted, fam.
I want to stroke that carpet so bad. It looks like there's just copious amounts of drugs in it. And it makes me excited. It's
just lick it and get high.
Yes, good old LSD rug. It's what we all need.
It's a bath. Give it a bath in LSD and hang it up.
That's Jimi Hendrix style rug right there. All right, Stoney, man, you got anything else? All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. I was just seeing if you had anything else for Mr. Wavy.
I was just remembering the other day in the Discord, like this one guy like thought you like scammed his girl just because you had the whole like salt rock in your fucking videos. He's all, my girl had the same salt.
I saw that. There was the guy in the Discord that was like, man, I watched this Wavy Web Surf guy's video and he's got the same damn salt rock as my girl. I think he's been going over to her house and screwing with me and shit. I was like, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Jesus.
Oh no, it was just so funny because I just kept giving him shit. I was like, really, dude? Like a salt rock? You mean something anybody could buy?
Like at Walmart? They literally sell them at Walmart for $10?
No, it's much more likely that you and his girlfriend are fucking around and taking turns on who keeps the salt rock. That's much more likely.
Exactly.
Good Lord. I love it. All right. Stoney, thanks for calling in, man. I really appreciate you. You have yourself a really good day.
Hey, Stoney.
Thank you, Dave. No, I appreciate it. And you got to get that growth too, man. You just got to sit there and keep that grind going. Keep these interviews going out.
If it happens, it happens. If not, you'll still find my fat ass here tomorrow talking into this stupid mic. Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, I'm going to be watching. I'll be watching. So.
Much appreciated. See you later, buddy. Dude, believe it or not, that's been 2 hours.
I'm looking at the clock right now.
I'm sorry if I took up too much of your time, man. I really do appreciate you being on. I had an absolute blast. Hopefully you had fun, too.
Yeah, I think we had a really good interview, actually. I think this one is miles better than the original one that we did. I
agree because, there's 100% less Tommy. So that helps. That helps.
Shout out to Tommy. He doesn't need any more shit right now.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he does. And if I can't do it, nobody else fucking can. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to give him shit just for fun now. If there's anything that I missed, anything you'd like to talk about, anything you'd like to tell the people who are watching, now's your opportunity. The floor is yours, my friend.
Sure. If you guys want to keep up with me, best thing to know what's going on is follow me on Twitter at @TheWavyWebSurf. I upload videos weekly, so if you want to check out the channel, go sub. I got a bunch of back catalog stuff that you could probably just watch for hours. But probably a new video coming out. Let's see, what's today? Tuesday? Probably like Sunday. So, yeah, check me out on Twitter at @TheWavyWebSurf. Channel's Wavy Web Surf. Do your thing. That's all I got, Dave.
You can find that information below. Wavy, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to close out because you know all my audio weird stuff. So Thank you so much, my friend, and I will be talking to you very, very soon. I'd like to get you back on just to get your ideas on thoughts on certain things, because I don't talk about a lot of drama stuff either, and I'm actually kind of going that same route of talking about more mainstream pop culture, historical type things. So I might be trying to get to pick your brain.
Feel free to just send me a DM on Twitter, man. We can hash stuff out.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, man. You have yourself a fantastic night.
All right, see you, Dave.
See you later, Wavy. Give some love to Wavy Web Surf. What an incredible interview we just had. That was fucking fantastic. I had a lot of fun with him. Hopefully you guys did as well. Thank you for everybody who supported the channel, called in, all of that good stuff. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to continue to support the channel, you can find me each and every single day over on Twitch as well as here. We're going to try to get back to the Dead on Dave live stuff where we're going to do shows. We're going to be bringing in some co-hosts again, having a little bit more fun, talking about stuff outside of the regular norm, and just getting back to regular Dead on Dave live goodness, So make sure you're here for all of that. Check out Wavy Web Surf and keep it copious, my friends. Because remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have those talented friends. More stuff coming very soon. Thank you for hanging out. And look, I got brand new glasses, and I love them. Oh, I just took them off, and I can't see again. There we go. We'll see you next time. Twitch, tomorrow. Be there or be rectangled. See you guys later. Good night. Peace. I don't have an outro. Oh, shit. Look at that. I never set up my outro. That's how good I am at stuff. So we're just going to have a hard ending to this. Is that how it's going to be? I guess that's how it's going to be. Good night, everybody. See you next time. I still have not put my outro in. Unfucking believable. I can't believe how bad I am at things. See you guys later. Peace. No outro. Bye.